The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, another Monday. First live in about 2 weeks. We didn't do a live last week, a little holiday situation.
Oh, that's
Facts.
right.
Back on deck. It is
Yeah.
the Rap Roundtable. It is your boy Jarv alongside Cicida Rap Snob, alongside
Yeah.
Macito, alongside Deanie the Balance.
Yo.
Everybody who was already here, shout out to the chat. I see a few names in here: Jeremy Cole, Derek Matthews, Ilson
Facts.
Yo, Jeff
Salute.
Iruwan, George Jones, Mike G, Mary Simon, etc., etc. Shout out to everybody. Elations from
What up,
Elaine,
family?
George Jones.
Gang,
Shout
gang.
out to shout out to everybody. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. We
All
need
that.
about 500 likes on each and every video. So please do that for us. We on a road to 30,000 subs, and we need you guys to do that for us. So hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. We are currently at 22, I think, 0.3. Let's get to 22.4 by the end of the stream if possible. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe option. Road to 30K only happens with you guys. So hit the subscribe option. Yo, fellas, great weekend. We don't
Fabulous.
gotta get too crazy into the
Yeah,
pleasantries
yeah.
because we gotta shine the light on our
Listen,
brother
We got a
Macito.
Shine a
superstar in
light
the
on
house
him.
right now, man.
All-star game appearance for Macito
Ballin'.
himself.
Yes,
You
sir.
know,
Where the
Culture
Versace
United.
shades at, man?
Word.
Macito.
I was expecting the backstage walk with the outfit in the slow mo. You know what I mean?
No, I should have. Next
Yeah.
one.
Next one, copy. You know what I mean? Culture
Salute to you,
United,
Mace.
Macito was on the panel. Hell of a time. It was dope to watch my guy get that shot next to some podcasting and blogging elites. So some industry people as well who shook the table in the real way. So Macito, real quick, just tell before we get into a couple of topics from that Culture Uniting,
Right.
what was it for you to be a part of that panel?
Nah, firstly, let's salute the company, man. Let's salute Justin. You know what I
Just,
mean?
what up?
He pulled up to the round table. He showed us love. So
Love.
much appreciated that he invited one of us out there to, represent, the rap roundtable on his vast platform. You know what I mean? So it was fun.
Salute.
I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? A little nerve-wracking at the beginning because I'm used to being with my guys, you know what I mean? But we was cooking up on there, a lot of strong opinions, a lot of, light hair, I assumed I was gonna be the only Drake guy, you know what I mean? So I was prepared to spar, you know what I mean? But Stat Quo made it, you know what I mean? I feel like talking about Stat Quo made a hell of a impression on Justin's audience, the company man's audience.
Oh, yeah.
Glasses Malone was up there kicking a lot of knowledge, you know what I mean?
Always.
Salute to him, you know what I mean? He definitely dropped some gems on
The
there.
homie.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We had Screwface up on there. It was the professor. It was a hell of a show, you know what I mean?
All-star cast.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Just like I say, sparring with them was fun, you know what I mean? After sparring with you maniacs, you know what I mean? Yes, you know what I mean? It felt like, I felt like Neo in that Matrix. You know what I mean? I even
Yeah,
had
you've been
feel
through
me?
the boot camp
Yeah.
hell of
Yeah.
times with us.
Yeah,
League
man.
of Shadows. Like Joe said, the League of Shadows, man.
You know what I mean?
listen, man.
Initiated.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, because they positioned you early on, pause, as the Drake fan.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like walking into that, like that's like being a Laker going to Boston. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I was ready for the tomatoes. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. So just like I said to the fellas, I went there expecting, to have to, fight for my life. But Stat Quo ended up pissing off so many people. You know what I mean? they looking at me as like
Took the pressure off.
Drake fan at this point. I see somebody up here shouts to Jeff Irwan. They calling me the fake Drake fan. Sin, it's like you come full circle, bro. You know what I mean? I know the
Isn't it funny how that works?
The
you know,
Zens.
you don't kiss their ass every time. Now you the fake fan. You feel what I'm saying?
Yo, matter of fact, because
You there,
the
Mace?
Rap Roundtable,
You all right, but you not real. You know what I mean?
Come on, man.
Nah,
You out the embassy.
we're gonna talk about those folks in a bit. But you live on Earth. But you know how I know it was a setup? Because it was like, if you look at the lineup, right, you had Macito was on the lineup, you had Professor Sky, Curtis King, Stat Quo, of course, the company man, and there was another name I'm forgetting, right? At Glasses Malone.
Right.
Gee.
I didn't see Screwface as part of that lineup. Next thing you know, Screwface getting sneaking in the back door. So they try to hot my guy.
Seth Rollins type vibes, man. Just popped
Yo,
out the middle of the crowd. You know
he
what I
wasn't
mean?
promoted on this episode. What is he doing here?
WWE vibes, bro.
It seemed like a jumping, but I see my boy Michael Brown. Like they said, I don't know. The crowd showed a lot of love. I gotta show, I gotta show respect to the audience over there because they definitely showed a lot of love. You know what I mean? Not just to me, to the whole round table. It seemed like a lot of people. We make crossover audiences a lot.
Oh yeah, I saw some familiar faces in the chat. I love to see it. You know what I mean? But it was very interesting to see. I'm like, look at this. They trying to get my guy, man. He was ready, stopping them bullets. You know what I mean? Shout out Stat Quo for being the actual op of the episode. We appreciate that. Sometimes you gotta have a villain. And that brings us to our first topic. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. We're not gonna do the full reaction to the thing. That's not what we do, But a topic that stood out to me, and it's something that we've talked about a lot on the Rap Round Table, because I think like we are in a lot of ways the middle ground for a lot of conversations in rap. A lot when people want to pick sides, we try to see every side of the equation, right? So Stat Quo essentially being the industry person, he has real industry credits to his name. Mm-hmm. Then you have a guy like a Curtis King, a guy like Screwface, who they underground champions in a lot of ways. Or I don't want to say underground champions, but their voice lends itself to the culture and to the underground people who not with none of the industry shenanigans. Right. So to see,
you might call them backpackers.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Somebody brought up that term. And I want to be clear about that. Some of Curtis King's perspectives, as a person who's pursued the music industry and been around every artist you can imagine, from the streeters of the street, the drug dealer niggas, the super underground backpacking niggas, some of his perspectives are that of a backpacker. Does that make him a backpacker? No. But that's besides the point. Those guys gotta have their faith themselves. That's not the Rap Round Table.
That's business. A fact.
The thing that stuck out to me was when you were talking, Mace, about, quote, the song of the summer, right? You weren't making it necessarily about Drake at all. In fact, you were talking about the Sonics and the impact of rap on a large scale. We talked about it on the Rap Roundtable maybe a month ago when we said that Gang Gang record is the closest thing we have to a, quote, song of the summer. We're not chasing artists who have songs of the summer. But when you got to talking about that, I noticed a recoil from Screwface and both Curtis earlier on in the episode, to where they look at that as almost like a blight when guys talk about songs of the summer, so on and so forth. And I feel like everyone keeps forgetting that this is the music business. These guys are not putting out, I've said this many times, the artists are not putting out music for free. Okay? If they're putting it out, they're trying to make sure that the song does as well as it can do for as long as it can do well. So that doesn't make them a sellout or a culture vulture or a person chasing hits. That's just business. It's the music business. So to say I come to you, like, why do you think some people recoil at the idea of there being, quote, not being a song of the summer, looking at it as if it's somehow a blight against the culture or Kendrick or so on and so forth?
I think a lot of people have a problem with, I don't know, just for lack of a better word, like diversity in sound. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people feel like everything has to sound either one way or everything has to sound another way. Like it's all art or it's all commerce. And the best things come when those two things commingle. You know what I mean? We always get the best product when, you have, somebody like a Kendrick Lamar that can make a song that's both a hit, but also lends itself to, the more backpackery, listeners among us. You know what I mean? And so I think that like the idea of Song of the Summer, I think rubs people the wrong way because they see it as like, oh, that's industry talk, or that's chart talk, or that's Billboard talk, or that's like, whatever the case may be. They see it as like, all right, like who cares? It's almost like, who cares if there's no Song of the Summer? Like we have a sort of a renaissance of you know, more culturally relevant music. Let's enjoy that. You know what I mean? But again, you know, we have to be very careful with that, because like if everything, you know, if everything becomes totally just, you know, just quote unquote culture, or just backpack, or just underground, or just whatever, and we don't have things like Song of the Summer, you know, the status of the culture and the genre might be in danger. We might end up, you know, going the way of jazz. You know what I mean? Jazz had like a good, you know, several decades of limelight and dominance, right? But that shit died out. So we got to be really careful about only wishing for just like the stuff that just we like. You know what I mean? Because we do have to have some sort of, you know, more well-rounded, more palatable stuff that does tend to cross over. The trick is to cross over in a way where you don't lose your own identity, or the culture or the sound or the genre doesn't lose its identity. That's the trick to it. Or have them cross over to us. You know what I mean? The way Jay used to say that shit. You know what I mean? But you know, I didn't, you know, I didn't cross over. I bought I brought the mainstream to the project. So he said something like that. But that's where I see, like, when people start hearing about things like Song of the Summer and stuff like that, like they start thinking that, oh, that's just industry talk. Like, and a lot of people right now are like, you know, on some real like fuck the industry, burn the industry down, like, you know, and you know, to a certain extent I get that, but also we want Songs of the Summer. Like, we want things that are, you know, that we could point at and say, hey, that was a hip hop moment, not just in the culture, but in the mainstream, right? In the greater landscape of society.
That part. Dini, what's your thoughts on this, man?
I think it's a balance, no pun intended, that needs to be fulfilled. You know, like since that merge, when the financial gain and the actual skill match, it's a beautiful match, bro. This shit is like a marriage made in heaven. I just don't want either forced. I don't want the music forced because you want to chase the bag, and I don't want the money shit going crazy because you're trying to just make hits. You get what I'm saying? I just really want like a nice, beautiful combination where, like, shout out to Kendrick. He's been doing that really well. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, for the course of the last year, he's pretty much dominated in that space where you can make, and I always talk about this too, like there's so many artists that are just dope. You get what I'm saying? And they make great music in terms of like rapping abilities, song structure, but they just don't, it's not super compelling music. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of artists that make you want to press play. There's plenty of artists that make you want to rush the music. I want to feel that. And I feel like the Song of the Summer was always a major thing. We'll never discount that, bro. Like, Hove made that a whole thing. Like the King of the Summer shit. You know how many summers he ran in straight? 7 summers. That was always a thing. And we never looked at Hove like Hove wasn't the lyricist.
I mean, let's be clear for the people who struggle with listening, because they'll hear you say that and just lose their mind. Mm-hmm. We're not saying he the first one to do it. He just not the guy who put a stamp there and made it a thing. Right. But Biggie was another. We always had
Big Daddy Kane. I mean, like, niggas that knew how to make the jams. Niggas that knew how to make the jams and still reach the people sonically with the bars.
And the Fresh Prince had a song literally called Summertime. You know what I mean? And to this day, that shit goes off.
Did his best Rakim flow on that. Beautiful record. But I think
y'all seen what that video, sorry to interrupt. Y'all seen that video where Rakim was like, yo, when did I make this song? I don't remember. He heard it and literally thought it was himself.
Will Smith hit him up too. They had an actual conversation about it. It was kind of funny. Yeah. But like, yeah, I love the merge, man. But I do love the Song of the Summer thing too. Like, I want to catch a vibe. I want to see that person shake it up. That's really how the game kind of maintains itself, like you said, Sin. Like, it would die out without having those tracks running up the numbers. Billboard, those things do matter. I know we like to talk about them like, oh, Billboard, you sell out, but you can't really sell out unless somebody buying in. You feel me? And people gotta buy in when they fuck with the tunes. So the Song of the Summer shit still matters to me. I will never disregard that. I've been around long enough to see what a Song of the Summer does. I've seen what Songs of the Summer from 20 years ago do to niggas today. You get what I'm saying? Y'all know the vibes when a certain song hit. Summertime is one of them. And that shit's damn near, what's Summertime? The early 90s? You get what I'm saying? when that shit come on, that shit it's a vibe, bro. It bring you back to that time when you was a kid, the barbecue, the girls playing double dutch, niggas hooping.
Right.
That nigga that is it? I thought it was like 90, a little further, like 93, 94, but I might be wrong.
No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't later. It was.
I think it was like 92.
It was 92.
Yeah.
But like the car driving slow, the nigga who just got his rims clean, you know, it takes you back to that. And I feel like as much as the lyricism could do that, like it there's also a major component about how the summer smashes do that. How the
91.
Big records,
it was 91.
Oh shit, 91.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sin. Like it just, but that matters. I will never I think hip hop will be doing a disservice to discount that, because that's such a big part of the game, bro. Making music that people want to listen to, gravitate to, that pulls them in. Like that's important. Don't disregard that.
Macito, in the midst of that conversation on Thursday, you were attempting to make a point, but again, being the liquor inside of Boston,
Right.
it was difficult for you to cut through. So, because this is your platform, you definitely have the runway now to finish that thought, so people can understand where you're coming from without necessarily being placed in a Drake corner, if you will.
Right. And so that's the thing, right, y'all, fellas, y'all have cooked excellently on this topic. The issue is a couple things. Tradition, I say, is number one, right? And often tradition isn't, always a good thing. Traditions, spanning cultures, you go to a certain tradition, you might be like, why the fuck do they do that? And so for hip hop, it's tradition to kind of stray away from the hot shit, right? Stray away from the popular shit, stray away from things that you feel like everyone likes. It also lends itself to originality being such a great thing within hip hop, right? It's hard to like the hot shit when you're trying to, be on your own type of shit. So I think that's one of the main issues when it comes to people's rejection and people's, distaste when you bring up, or when I brought up, Song of the Summer type thing. It's funny because, people automatically kind of tied that point to Drake when Kendrick himself has at least owned 2 summers. He's at least had two summers like that. The summer we just left, obviously not like us, you know what I mean? And in the damn summer, it could have been a whole fucking album. I remember hearing that album all 2017.
Heavy.
So Kendrick himself is a person who, when he's making music, has the ability to do this. So it's clearly not just a Drake point. When you talk about the shift, right? And this is the point I was really trying to make, is that the shift occurs, as a sonical thing as well, right? So when you say Drake, and when you're saying Drake kind of owns this sound, it's not just Drake, right? We see, how a Playboy Cardi kind of came and went this cycle, right? We see what's going on. People don't like us to talk about it. We see what's going on with Atlanta. It seems like 21 Savage don't even want to put out music right now. We see what because it's not just Drake, right? It's the sound and the things he represents. That's melodies, that's things that trying to shark sounds. So obviously, if we're replacing that, right, we have to think about the Kendrick side. And the point that I was trying to make is that Kendrick is the type of person, like when if you reject, the Song of the Summer, the ability to connect with a vast and general public type of fan, Kendrick has the ability to do that. So it's like so acting like Kendrick's sonical change means that you have to not like popular shit. Well, no, that's not the fact, because Kendrick himself is a person that can connect on both of those levels. So acting like when Kendrick takes over, we no longer have to like popular shit, hot shit, Songs of the Summer type vibes, that's just not true, because Kendrick got that in his tool bag. Anytime that we've had a sonical shift in hip hop, from the shiny suit to the DMX Rough Rider era, DMX and them can still make radio songs,
yeah.
You know what I mean? When Kanye took over from 50, he still had the ability to connect with every type of listener that 50 could. The same way Kendrick can with Drake. But if we're completely shifting a sound, I'm just saying that the people that are pretending like we like Kendrick's side, we like this, no, they need to have that in their tool bag as well, because that's really, to me, what Kendrick represents. So ultimately, that was the point that I was trying to make, that just because you have to feel like, the repetitive, or to you, the repetitive side, the melodic side, the certain type of drums, certain type of themes. Just because you want to shift from that doesn't mean we have to say, we're going completely underground. We completely don't make it shit that people, might not, that's not going to make the radio. That was really ultimately the point that I was trying to make.
And you know what? Let's be clear about a couple things, man.
Yeah.
From the inception of hip hop, because that's been the crux of Curtis's conversation, especially. And I'm not really familiar with Screwface's content. Like, I just started seeing his name in the chat by way of the chat. You know what I mean? Because the Rap Round Table, like I told y'all last week, we operate in our own island. Like, if y'all tell us about somebody that we need outside of the company, man, who based on when y'all watched the first time, I've known this guy for like 15 years. The dude had my number in his phone. And he never deleted it. True story. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of these guys, unless y'all tell us about them, or something happens like Curtis King where he reacted to one of our, I think it was my take about hip hop, and then essentially quote lands on our desk, we don't know these people because we're not in that world. We really are the Raiders. We are by ourselves in this shit, and we just continue to climb the rungs. That being said, if the argument is hip hop, right? Was hip hop in the late 70s, early 80s, hoodies and thug shit? I mean, there was some street elements within it for sure, but there was still some quote radio friendly elements as well. Some of the earliest songs that get celebrated every time we do a history of hip hop and we go back in time, those were smash hits. Those were not street records. Those were not no shots at sin. I'm not even trying to be funny. Those weren't jazz influenced records. These were their own things that took off. Not to say that other sounds can't take off and do well, because we've seen that. Tribe Called Quest is one of the greatest groups in music history. They wasn't chasing radio. Shit, Q-Tip ain't really started chasing radios until he was making songs like Breathe and Stop and Vibrant Thing in the late 90s. Tribe shit was organic. And I think that's the argument that I was listening for Thursday that I didn't hear. Is that, yeah, cool. You don't want the radio records. You don't want people to chase radio. I'm in the same boat as you, because we always talk about, we can always tell when an artist is chasing radio. But let's not pigeonhole ourselves and say, this is hip hop. If the record takes off and this artist creates something so dynamic that it gets legs and it goes far, then who are we to say that, you know what I mean, it's not the quote song of the summer? Again, the intro to the Clips album, I'm telling you, that was not made to be no single. But it's a great song. It has the great elements. It got a radio placement. Boom. If that song just wins awards at some point during award season, salute to that record. But don't get mad if a person on the outside not stat quo, because he's too industry. You know what I mean? I think Curtis is one extreme opposite end, and Stat is one extreme opposite, and those two would never converse with each other in the street. They have a mutual friend. And sometimes it be like that. You have a mutual friend that brings opposites together in a room, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And that's what we witness in that. So, I'm not talking to the stats of the world. I'm talking to people who just know, like, all right, songs got to take off. And if you think, let me tell you something. If these artists are signing these deals and these songs aren't taking off, that hurts the music business of hip hop. Because then, to Stats' point, whether you want to hear it or not, if a bunch of artists are not making things that stick in a real way, then budgets ain't gonna open up. The impact will be lessened.
Talk about it.
And maybe some people want that. Okay, maybe they want the real. They want the reset that we've been talking about since 2019 to be something where it has to go completely underground and then come back up. Me personally, I don't want that. I just want someone else. I guess this is the competitor in me. I want someone else to push their pen and make records. And elevate to the top, because what's not being talked about, again, I didn't hear this in the Culture United episode, is, all right, we move Drake out the equation. We know Kendrick is a superior artist, and I don't think it's fair to compare any artist to Kendrick, because superior artists can do whatever they want to do. Kendrick could do a song with motherfucking Kodak Black, or he could do the most political record you've ever heard, or he himself with his cousin can chase radio. He could do whatever he wants. That now for y'all say, see where that lands. Fill that void. That's my question. And it is a void because the business of rap been businessing for close to 40 years. There's been a superior artist or a top tier artist that's been doing real things. So we need that. Am I tripping in saying that?
Nah, not at all. That's where the balance lies, bro. Like, I just don't want it to be just, lyrical, smerical shit. And I love lyrical, smerical shit, but I also love the hits, bro. The hits take me to a place that, like, I feel like just the lyrical, smerical shit just can't take me by itself. You get what I'm saying, my nigga? Like, it's like a vacation. You could work hard all year long. You feel me? But that 1 week off just take you to a different place. And I feel like that's what hits do. Like, hits, that's the shit you remember long term, 25, 30 years from now. You can sit down with your friends at a barbecue, and that shit brings you to a place. Like, lyricism does that too. I don't want to take away from that because there's 1,000 artists that do that. We can name that do that. But there's something special, bro, about an artist that can do the combination. Like, it's special. Like, combination. Like, this, like I said, I named a few. Even Pac. Like, Pac knew how to take you to the depths, and then Pac will give you I get around. You get what I'm saying? Like, it just, that balance is what made these artists so, like, monumental. This is why we talk about these niggas 30, 40 years from now. You get what I'm saying? We're not going to get that alone with just the bars. You get what I'm saying? It just don't work.
And those are the truly special artists, right? They're the generational talents.
Yes.
That can give you both sides of the fence, right? Or all sides of the fence. Like, whatever you need, they could give it to you. You know what I mean?
Especially without chasing it. Like a Miss Fat Booty. I don't think when Miss Fat Booty was made, he was like, this is gonna be like the jam, but like Miss Fat Booty is like a hit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Sin said, Most is a generational talent, bro.
He's exquisite.
He got it. The thing is, with that talent comes the ear for beats, the pen,
he says like shit like
melodic ability, even if you don't mean to have it, shit like that.
Definitely can harmonize.
But I think where we are right now is like we're looking at a situation where I feel for a really long time, it just felt like what everybody was looking for when it came to hip hop was the jams, song of the summer. You know what I mean? Which Drake had like every year. You know what I mean? So like that, and that became synonymous with the culture, with rap, with hip hop. You know what I mean? With the whole genre is Drake got the jams for the summer. He's getting it lit. You know what I mean? If you're at the beach, if you're on vacation, if you're in the club, like he's got you covered. Exactly. Right. And we while the pandemic was happening in real time, we were documenting this in real time.
Facts.
We were saying this is not sustainable. This is not going to last because nobody's partying right now. And I think we're like at this point, at this juncture between last year and this year, we're really realizing, oh shit, this is the culmination of that shit that we was talking about during the pandemic. You know what I mean? That it can't be all vibes all the time. You know what I mean? Now Drake is in a position where, okay, we know you as the vibe guy. What else can you do? And it doesn't seem like he can do anything else other than that. You know what I mean? Sure, he gave us the Scary Hours 3. He spit some tough bars on there.
He's rapping.
But it doesn't seem like that's where his heart is at, which is unfortunate because it was so good. It was so good. You know what I mean? Like, I wish that's where his heart was at, but I don't think it is. He did it like I feel like he did it out of spite. I feel like he did it out of, all right, here, take it, and now get the fuck out of my face. Stop asking me for a full rap album. Here you go. You know what I mean? And then like I said recently, right after that, is when Kendrick pops out and everybody takes Kendrick's side, and I'm sure he's feeling like, oh, why the fuck did I take this whole for the culture rapper seriously, or for the culture rapper thing seriously when they threw it at me, if they're just gonna go and take his side anyway. So fuck that. You know what I mean? And he basically said as much in the Bobby Altoff interview. That was one of the segments in there. Is not that I watched the whole thing, but I did see some clips.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
You're a media commentator, man. You just doing research, you know.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Homework.
But he basically said as much. He said, like they're levying all of these accusations against me that I'm a vulture, that I'm not for the culture, blah blah. And if that's the case, then like fuck him. And that's like I'm glad he actually said it. To be completely honest, I was not mad at that interview from what I saw of it, because I think that is the most himself he's been in a long time.
Well, remember what Kenny said when he see himself with the ladies, he see two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
But I thought that anger and aggression would generate some better tunes, though. I did. I just
don't. Thank you. You actually are taking up the conversation where I wanted to take it, and that's the thing. Where I know, because in post battle and specifically post lawsuit, a lot of people are taking that, kick Drake out of hip hop stance. I want people to know that before that portion of that,
I'm people.
But I want people to know that before that actual argument, that wasn't the argument, right? The argument was Drake, stop making mediocre music. Drake, stop making, monotonous music. Stop making the same music over and over. It wasn't that people hated the hits. It wasn't that people hated the fun part of hip hop where you could be in the club and pop bottles and be with the strippers and all that. It wasn't that. It was that he stopped performing that at the highest level. That was the initial thing. Now I get it. The man is sued, rap. You know what I mean? He might have lost the battle. You might have felt like the allegations is true. Wherever you at now, I understand completely. But that was the original argument. Not that we don't like hits. We just want good hits.
Facts, miss.
But that's the problem, though. We want good hits, hands down, for sure. At the end of the day, we can say what we want right now, and it's like there's a wave of people, and that's the thing. I guess this is just the world we live in, and I guess I gotta just adjust to the quote new normal. With defeat always seems to come with history revisions, right? And people are acting as if they never listened to this guy. Like, I'm not a Drake fan. There's almost a 98% chance that you won't hear me blasting the Drake song in my car. But that I'm not going to pretend as if this man didn't have songs that people played. That doesn't make you a fan, but you played the songs. He has records that did that. I'm not trying to hand him his hip hop card back, but my point is, if the guy. Because my first argument, let's to Sid's point, and we talked about Scary Hours 3 is like, and even in the group chat over the weekend, I was like, this is monotonous. Like whatever ingredients he had once upon a time, or to like Jeremy Cole saying in the chat, whomever his writers were, you got to find some new ones, because he's been stuck in a 2021 loop for almost 4 years now. It's the same flows, the same beat switches at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, bro, like the formula's over formulaic now. And it's like, come on, man. Like, we can't keep doing this. Like the more I hear the new songs, the more I think about the Kendrick ball when he was like, hey, Drake, they're not slow. Because it's like you keep trying to curate things for a specific common denominator. And it's like, brother, man, they don't want that. Outside of your super core, and there's enough of them for you to always go platinum, but for you to regain whatever powers you feel like you might have, this formula, the $7 biggie bag from Wendy's that you keep trying to give people is not working.
The Drizzy bag,
it's not working.
The 4 for $4 Drizzy bag is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep doing this thing, and then when you do to make a record that works, like a What Did I Miss, you couldn't help yourself. You had to switch the beat and it completely killed the vibe of the song, because you had to give us a $7 biggie bag. You had to give us the fries and the nuggets. What if he just wanted the sandwich, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like,
a la carte, bro.
You keep going back to it over and over and over and over again. And it's like, you wasn't making these songs in 2018. When 0 to 100 came out, you ain't even got, like, your body can't even sustain a 0 to 100 at this point. When you was mad at Common, can you even deliver a Stay Scheming verse? Like, where is that guy? Like that's the argument. That was the crux of the argument a year ago when I was like, yo, Kendrick is really he's smacking the shit out of you. You taking it. Why don't you just throw the Frank at this guy? Why don't you just get it, find the industry being just drop a 64 bar freestyle, just rap and say fuck this guy. Instead, you just keep crying and 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 switching beats and making vibes from 2021. Nigga, the 2021 niggas that you've been vibing with, all them Atlanta guys, the Atlanta Sonics changed, bro. And you still making the shit they was making 4 or 5 years ago. Gunna don't even sound like Gunna. Post jail Gunna don't sound like pre-jail Gunna.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you still in this one particular bag? So it's like, if you were making the hits, I bet I put any amount of brother. If he was to find a way, and I thought Kendrick would have brought this out of him, to get that artistic bag back, and he made a record that worked, people were still saying F Drake. But I think the competitive conversation that a Jay-Z fan, myself, and Sin was having was because they were both still in a bag. Mm-hmm. So now my guy lost, yes, but he gave you a Black album. Then randomly one day you woke up and you heard Ignorant Shit, the original version, or somebody's mixtape. You know, Nas won, but my guy's still rapping. This guy's crying, going to streamers, yucking it up, drinking wine with Bobby Altoff, and it's like,
but Hove maintained his cool though. You get what I'm saying? Like,
no,
this
he
nigga
didn't. No, he didn't. He made Super Ugly, bro. He didn't maintain his cool.
In comparison to this, that's a bad record as opposed to like a spiral of bad music, bro.
Through the Frank, talked crazy and apologized to the women that he rapped about. Hove crashed out. It was
whack. It was whack.
You doing that revisionist shit.
I'm not. All right, let me find a better way to get this. You're not capping, but I'm saying in terms of like maybe like he don't have the cool no more. You get what I'm saying?
You're trying to say he's not built like Jay.
Kendrick knocked the cool out of Drake Walk.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and he because I'm listening. I really listened to the Iceman 3 joints, and I'm like, the aura's gone, bro. The nigga, he don't got his cool no more. It's not that the records are terrible records. If these were records from like 3-4 years ago, he would have had the aura and the cool nigga to bring them records home.
Point you making
this shit
Sonics
is crazy.
3 to 4 year old Sonics. Kendrick done just dropped GNX. Your primary competition just changed his whole sonical output again, nigga. And you still in 2021.
Right. Yeah. That's why Nokia hit the way it did, because that seemed like Drake trying something a little different than usual. It seemed like him getting into his bag. That sounded like, okay, Drake's at the drawing board. He's trying hard here, but listen.
But he still had the cool on that. But he still had the cool, like these records, bro. Like, and they sound like the same record over and over again, but they just keep getting worse. It's all about what did I miss? I
wish I could find the creator. They made a point. I don't even know why I seen it. Maybe sent through it in there. I don't even remember, but he might have threw it in the chat. I don't remember. But the person was like, the formula is so boring that they cutting through it. Like it was a woman. She was like, "It's what did I miss?"
Right, yeah. It was somebody off of TikTok.
It's the same repetitive hooks over and over again.
Same, bro.
Everything is same. Repetitive hooks, beat switches, whining. My God.
Yeah.
At this point, bro, you are becoming. You know when you at the kickback in somebody's backyard, and that flea just keep flying in your ear. That's what it's starting to feel like now. All these songs starting to feel like I'm fleeing a nigga ear. Like, oh God, all right. Like, come on, bro. What did I miss? You lost. You No Face? Cool. There's another song that was the same kind of repetitive. I can't remember it right now. Nokia was, like Mason's point, Nokia was the only song that really
fresh.
That seemed like he ventured off somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who's this Jeff guy?
Jeff is going. Right. That might be Chubbs, bro.
All right, Jeff. Bye, Jeff. You know what I mean?
Night.
Don't ask stupid questions. Anyway, stupid games, stupid prizes, so on and so forth. It's just really ridiculous to me, and it's just like, this game and the hit records. If y'all see this light-skinned dude struggling, which one of these artists is gonna step up, and what city they gonna be from? Let's not focusing on resets and all of that. It's a clear opening. Kendrick ain't going nowhere. He planted his flag. We don't know when Cole's ever coming outside. Who is going to be the next guy? Who's going to step up?
Been asking this for years, man.
Big Sean better pick up his MF and pen.
It's quiet.
Nah,
It's quiet.
I'm just saying, you've been outside the club for your whole career with the big three. If there's ever a time for you to stop being so somber and depressed and find your good music era, it'd be right now.
I don't know.
Whatever that shit is in Final Destination, chasing them niggas is chasing Big Sean rap career, bro. Like death is on that nigga heels. Chill. I'm Big Sean. Had a great verse with the Joey Badass and Ab-Soul shit. Great verse. But every time he's in position to do something, bro, it's like I say, the wheels on a roller coaster break off and some shit. Like it just, I don't want to. Nah, Joe. I know that shit bands, but
I respect it.
The big ass piece of lumber comes out the back of the truck.
Out the back of the whip.
I'm not saying I want it. I'm just saying every time he try to step up, he get pushed away from one of those three guys.
Nasty.
One guy can't find his foot in. Cole is afraid to come outside because the little podcast shit ain't work either. So if there's ever a time, you know what I'm saying? Tyler just dropped the Vogue album. We don't know what he gonna drop next because I don't. Is that record? Does anybody know if any of those records are doing anything? Is it charting? Is it getting social media places? Like Mesito, help me out here. Is that Tyler album doing anything?
It's not hitting, y'all, on a commercial or like I'm not even. They think I'm popping shit. On a commercial level, it's not hitting like that.
The chat saying JID is next. We already know JID is nice. Is JID a big music maker? That's the level. We talk about the Kendrick comparison all the time. Kendrick's pen is dynamic. He can give you anything. Kendrick is making movie scores. Can JID do that?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's the question we asking right now.
That's the question, and it's very as far as the next generation, it seems like with this kind of sonical shift or idealistic shift in hip hop, because like on the melodic side, right? It seemed like Drake, obviously had his reign, but remember for a little while it seemed like Lil Baby was going to take the reign. He couldn't do it. Remember for a while, you remember this era, they were trying to tell us Lil Durk was the next Lil Wayne. It seemed like he was trying to.
I never bought it.
They were saying that though. They were saying it.
You remember that era?
Yeah.
100K. They was trying to make it happen. So it's like obviously those guys on that side of the coin weren't able to really take the reins. So let's see, like, now that, we have the shift, let's see if somebody in that other side or more artistic, more creative.
Is it Rayvon? Rayvon been going live on Instagram regularly, and all of his lives has been him in the stew. So maybe this is Rayvon's chance to come through that void.
I wouldn't be mad at
perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe. Nigga nice.
That's a great
nigga
name.
Nice.
To me, it's going to be a guy with not much of a resume now. So when we mention JID got years and years of
albums.
At this point in his career,
it should have happened already.
That damn already. Like, you know what I'm saying? At this point in his career, wasn't Drake at fucking views already? Like, so to me, it got to be a guy that has not too much of a resume, but somebody who's impressed us. If we're going to talk about somebody that's going to take that.
Maybe it's Big X the plug. Maybe it's him. Texas can get they look.
But I think
it's up there.
Certified hit maker.
I think ultimately that's what people are kind of afraid of. Like so there's the Drake fans, and then there's that the I think a segment of the audience that I wouldn't call them like Drake stans or anything, but they're definitely on Drake's side, and I think it's because a certain segment of the audience is afraid of the void that's going to happen now. Now it looks like when Drake completely falls off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because now, like, when you look at the landscape, who's going to take it over? Like, Kenny's there. If he, I think he's going to put that responsibility more so on his back now. I think like he feels it, and he's willing to take on that responsibility for the culture.
I feel like he kind of has, because he's carried 24 into 25, in my opinion.
Right. But then also, he's close to 40. You know what I mean?
The radio says otherwise, Mace.
I don't mean in that. I don't mean
Davis saying stove guard.
I don't mean to cut off Sin, but I really mean in the sense that I think Kendrick is very close to getting into his boss bag with the PG Lang vibes.
No, I think he got 3-4 more albums in him, bro. I think we got a whole new season premiere from Kendrick last year. Like, this is a whole new era. And then that Super Bowl interview that he mentioned I keep going back to it, how he was talking about hip hop and where he's at. and him understanding his position. I think that this is a whole new era for Kendrick that we embarking on.
So I'm looking forward to that happening if it happens. But if it doesn't happen, or let's say, we're looking at it 5 years from now, like what's on the horizon? I think a lot of people are afraid that hip hop is just going to be like a splintering of small niches, and nobody's going to bring all of the niches together into one cohesive star. You know what I mean? That's what people are really afraid of right now, and that's why people were like, "Yo, like I still see it all the time on Twitter, like, oh, rap is so boring without Drake."
No, it's not.
I mean,
it's been a great.
If you're a casual, sure. You know what I mean? And we, to a certain extent, we do.
Or if you're like a Drake stan, it's a right. Well, yeah,
the Drake. Yeah. That's why. Sometimes you know what, and I want to highlight this comment because these people are the ones that make me the most annoyed. Drake has so many fans that you could just be walking up the block and a random person that doesn't have an owl logo in their Abby says some shit, and they seem like a logical person, and it takes you a few exchanges before you realize that they're a Drake fan. But by that point, you're thinking that it's just a dummy that's just saying some shit, and it's really just a Drake fan who's not in Club Paradise. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we run into sometimes. Is people who just casuals, or they align themselves more so with the Drake sound of it all, and they say things because he's not delivering the fix that they need. When they go to the lounge or they go to the spot and they want to shake their shoulders, they're not hearing that. To me, I'll say that makes you a lazy fan. You know what I'm saying? Because rap, there's so much music out here, bro. Word. Whether it's underground, overground, radio, it don't have to be Aubrey. There's people making records that you can listen to and shake your shoulders to and get that same type of fix. But then we have this, and it's like, this is what I'm saying, like, we have conversations that people, they rush to type before they actually listen. Like, I don't even know who this person is. Reflection Eternal was like, yo, y'all along with the bad few dudes suffer from the same arrested development as Drake before they end up trying to stay relevant. I'm not sure how a conversation about like the big music makers and highlighting that Kendrick is in a league of his own somehow makes us suffer from arrested development. If you still here, maybe you pulled in at a strange part of the conversation or you're just not listening right. We've already established that Kendrick is the top of the food chain. We're saying who's going to fill the void besides him? Because, and this is the thing that people, and the dangers of the internet, in my opinion, and I'm going to pass this to you. Mm-hmm. I feel like people really don't know the history of music. They just go on the internet and they type and they talk and they try to yell at niggas like us who lived through mad eras. We lived, like, you gotta remember, we lived through the Biggie and Pac era, the original West Coast era, the Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang had commercial records while not chasing radio. There's always been 10 poles of people who's holding up the album selling big artist argument from the inception of rap. Why people can't understand that?
Well, and this is where I'm going to talk my shit, because like there's not many people of the same cloth as us here. You know what I mean? We may disagree here and there, the Jay-Z versus Nas, and whatever, but like at the end of the day, like we've seen so many eras. We've been here, like we've experienced it first person. You know what I mean? And at this point, 50 years in, I don't. When I look at the landscape out there of hip hop fans, like I feel like it's either the Drake stan sort of fan that just wants everything to be lit, to be popping bottles and the sparklers and all of that shit. Or if you're of our age, like it's just 90s and nothing else. And there's so much more space there to cover between those two extremes. And I feel like that's where, people like us, or, I'll say us specifically, like fill in that void. And the thing in this day and age with, so many years of Wikipedia, like misinformation running rampant on social media. Now we got AI that like, if you ask ChatGPT and you're just going to trust the answer it gives you. Right. Listen, I was just, what was I looking up? I'll just digress here for a second because I have a very specific example. I had seen a video I think it was from Esso. Esso was asking Ghostface, is it true that him and Raekwon ran up on Biggie with bottles in the club? And Ghostface was like, what the hell are you talking about? Right? And in my head, I'm thinking Esso might be confusing the Big Pun and Jay-Z story with that, right?
Oh.
So Pete, so I go to Google, right? Because he specifically said in the tunnel, and then in my head, just randomly, I was just thinking, where was the club that they said Pun ran up on Jay with bottles in? And so I go to Google it, and when Google's AI gives me that, you know how it gives you that like synopsis now at the top?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It referred to Big Pun and his fiance. Oh, I'm sorry, and Big Pun and his widow, Cuban Link.
Oh man.
I'll say this again. It said Big Pun and his widow, Cuban Link.
Damn
Not
you,
just
AI.
once, numerous times. You know what I mean? And so you read something like that, and you just trust the AI, and you're like, oh shit, okay, I guess.
Great points, man.
Listen, maybe Cuban Link and Big Pun had somebody. Look, that's what people's gonna start believing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some bullshit. Yeah.
And so we're in that day and age where like people just want the shortest, quickest answer to things, and so they'll go on the internet, whatever gives them the quickest answer, whether it's AI, ChatGPT, Wikipedia, whatever. They'll just trust that first thing that it says, right? Meanwhile, motherfuckers like us that were there on the front lines. We was in the club. We was on the corners. We was in the street, outside. We could tell you the response to certain records. We could tell you like what was hot and what was not. We could tell you, you know what I mean? Like shit. I remember when the Beanie Siegel Jadakiss shit popped off and Beans dropped his record. I was coming out of Club Speed. I was walking by a car that was blaring it. This was the very first time I'd ever heard it. I heard it coming out of somebody's car. Literally, me and my boys pulled up to the car and just planted ourselves there to listen to this record and listen to Beanie go off. That is our experience. We were
Bro, that's hip hop. Because now, if you do that today, niggas is crashing out.
So
before, if Clue was dropping some shit Monday night mixtape, and you just happen to be walking by or flex somebody, they would let you rock. It'd be mad strangers standing together listening to the song.
Energy.
So you really can't tell. Like when we were there, you really can't tell us nothing, regardless of what Wikipedia or ChatGPT or Google might say. You know what I mean? And that's the problem.
Beautiful.
That's the problem.
We know you got a slough. Final thoughts on this before you break out.
Nah, listen. Altogether, you know, I think the rejection that people have when they talking about popularity and hit records, it's weird to me, right? Because whenever these, you know, greatest of all, or not even, let me not even put greatest, whenever these highest selling albums of all time, highest first weeks of all time, highest, you know, rappers with the most weeks in number one, it's always great artists. It's always Jay-Z, Kanye, Kendrick. You know what I mean? It's always the GOATs, bro. So it's like, I think in a rejection of an idea, in a rejection of an artist, you think that artist controls everything in that corner, and now you're trying to reject that. And that's a dangerous game that's being played. You know what I mean? To me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's the problem with the other topic. I'm not gonna say it, but it's like we shouldn't be so tribalistic about this. Embrace the whole thing. Of course, lock in with what you like the most, but don't shun anything. Be ingratiated in everything so that you're aware of everything. So that when things do happen or a person tries to rewrite history, you can say, that didn't happen that way. Like Macito became a Pac fan. He's a Pac fan. I might not have been the biggest Pac fan, but I made sure I tapped in. I knew what was going on so that if a conversation could be had, that's how it should be. This tribalistic shit to me is stupid. I don't think it makes sense. To me, that's the least hip hop thing of it all, is to be tribalistic. Because hip hop in itself was one tribe of people coming together as a culture. Now you're trying to fracture hip hop within hip hop. That don't make sense to me. We gotta continue. If we're gonna go back to the essence should be, this is our music. We lock in with it and we make sure that we protect it and it gets filtered out the way it needs to be filtered out. That's how I look at that. Macito, you do? Oh, you got more to add to that?
You asked a question earlier. You said, "What's the next state that's gonna take over in the absence, in the void?" I got New York. Maybe I'm biased, y'all. Maybe I'm biased. But I've been listening to the youngins in New York all weekend. I'm like, I think we back, bro. I think we back.
We gonna see. Again, there's some artists with some motion out here. If you search, they right in front of you. Macito, be good, bro.
Macito.
The chat, like, subscribe, do all that. Appreciate y'all. See you on the next one.
My God.
He not too rich. He got the do-rag on still.
The voice.
Yo, let's get into this whole Young Thug of it all. Dini the Balance, we coming to you, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. We need 500 likes on each and every video. Road to 30,000 subs. Run everything up, please, and thank you. This record comes out, and that other group chat, they were some folk in there was trying to gas it. And then when I got around to it, kind of mid to me. Word to Tony the Dome. You heard the diss record.
To me.
You know what I mean? What did you think about this? Follow that up, and what do you thought about his podcast appearance? Very odd weekend. I'd say a rough weekend for Young Thug.
Gonna rap, some of the rap. No, the rap. Bro, not my cup of tea. This is from a person that actually likes Young Thug. This wasn't it. This is what happens when you don't have real friends in your corner. They would have told you this one wasn't it, bro. This was not it. The video wasn't necessary either. Like the whole, like on today's episode of Who Asked for This, basically. You know what I'm saying? Not necessary. The interview, I got what I expected from a Young Thug interview. A lot of pleading, a lot of still trying to blame Gunna. It's at this point, bro, you just gotta hold the L. It's everything's recorded. Like to have these kind of conversations on a jail call, like first of all, you get what I'm saying? Like on a jail call, like now I see niggas keying, they talk shit, like honestly, we don't know. People don't have to look at it from a different perspective because I don't know what it's like to be a multimillionaire, much less be a multimillionaire who's now separated from my multi-millions, I'm in a cell. I'm used to smoking weed. I'm used to having 1,000 checks. I don't got none of this stuff around me. All I got is a cell phone and my girlfriend. You get what I'm saying? He's making these calls. He's probably blaring his heart out. Not the brightest thing to do on a jail call, though. But in terms of talking, I've heard niggas say worse about niggas, you know what I'm saying, in person, just when that nigga's not around. So I'm not mad per se at the things he said. I'm more mad that he did this shit on a jail call. Thug said a couple of things that I can't I kind of agree with. I always wonder, like, Future, what's your dad game like, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, the people have wondered this. People have wondered a few things he said, and I was like, these are not bad questions. These are not even bad conversations.
Dina, you really sanctioning gossiping? Bro?
I'm not come on, bro.
That's
how many times?
I'm
not sanctioning it. I'm just saying I see it all the time. Niggas will tell you, oh, this nigga ain't shit, bro. This nigga ain't got this nigga ain't got that. This bitch this bitch that. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying everyone does it. Just not dumb enough to do it on a jail call. You get what I'm saying? He was saying some crazy shit, but he was saying things like, I thought he was talking as a nigga that's just talking to his girl. You get what I'm saying? Like, you talking to your girl, you're like, what do you think about Glorilla? That bitch is ugly. Hey, you gonna tell any girl that girl ugly when you talking to your girl, bro? You get what I'm saying? I'm not sanctioning him. I'm just saying niggas in jail, these niggas ain't built like that, and they're in these circumstances and they're used to a certain lifestyle. I expect the overwhelming majority of people to crack, bro. Like, people see like people crack online and feel I expect that, bro. I expect the overwhelming majority of people to crack. Most people aren't built for that kind of life. Most people aren't built for a cell. We're social human beings. I don't trust nobody with that type of shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I do what I do. I see what he's doing, but that's the type of life he's always lived. Doug has always been a very emotional, need I say, feminine individual. You get what I'm saying? He's not moving like the rest of like niggas I know is moving. Maybe he's thugged out. I hear crazy things about Thug from Atlanta. You get what I'm saying? As far as the thuggery, like I hear he about the life, but like this was a nigga who was at his weakest moment and like a fucking idiot had his weakest moment on state sanctioned jail call. You get what I'm saying? I can't sanction that, but there was a couple of things he was saying that I thought made sense. Like, I don't know Future, but I've always wondered about the kitchen. Like, I do see you a lot with the bitches. You know what I'm saying? And then I see the Russell Wilson shit, and I'm like, yo, like, that shit's not cool. You get what I'm saying? And as a father would jump in and interject that situation. He's not for whatever reason. And that kind of make me look at him a little crazy. And you know how I feel about Future. That's my guy. You feel me? Like I love Future, but there are some instances of that. Would you be like? Like I said, bro. I just know how niggas get on the phone with their girl on the key. I seen it. For everybody in the chat, don't cap. I done seen you niggas do it. It might not be you specifically, but whether you're getting the chatty call too, or you're doing the chat, and I've seen it. So I'm not saying Thug is. I'm not gonna knock him for that because I know plenty of niggas that would do that. It's like me. Niggas will lie in a situation like that. You get what I'm saying? But to do it like that on a jail call, fam, get it. I can't sanction the jail call, bro. That's the dumbest shit you could have ever done. Dumbest. Like, it's not just the things you said, it's who you said it about, it's what you said. Like, I don't even know how his girl can stay with him like this, because she might be hated too. Like, they might be looking at the Mariah chick crazy. Like, you was just sanctioning all this shit when he was saying all this shit. There was no pushback. Like, if all our calls were sanctioned to the world, bro, the world would be looked at very different. That's all I'm saying. Moments of weakness, weak nigga. It is what it is.
A rap snob. Your thoughts?
Listen, I mean, I have a podcast, right? We have a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm very careful about the things that I say on here because I know people are listening.
Of course.
If you're in jail and you talking on the phone, you got to treat it the same way as if you're speaking on the internet. Motherfuckers is listening. And that shit is liable to get out. And lo and behold, it got the fuck out. Look, I've never been a Young Thug fan, so it's not like it's not like I'm looking at this,
no way.
Right. It's not like I'm looking at the situation like bothered or like I expected more or you know, like, oh man, like my guy, like what are you doing? Nah, like, but you know, I know he had a strong run. But look, man, like all runs come to an end.
Cooked.
And you know, it looks like his run looks like it's pretty dead. The tunes aren't great. The diss record is not good. The Sonics, first thing off the rip,
the whole energy, bro.
Off the rip, the Sonics. I'm like, yo, who greenlighted this? Who let this get past, you know, the studio engineer? Like, what the fuck? That shit sounds horrible. And then you know, the actual song itself, pretty, you know, it's pretty elementary stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking at this like, oh shit, like he really cooked, son, or nothing like that. Like it's pretty, you know, rudimentary. Again, I've never been a fan of Thug, so it's not like I expect an awful lot out of him. But like, what it seems like to me, I think is happening too is looking at like the bigger picture. Like, I feel like audiences now, especially Gen Z audiences coming up, I think they want more out of their artists than just good tunes. I think they want to be able to look at the artists and one way or another be able to respect them. You know, like it seemed like the generation before, like the millennials, all they cared about was the tunes. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Lil Wayne Kiss Baby, who cares? Rick Ross was a CEO, who cares? You know what I mean? Young Thug was wearing dress, who cares? You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, yeah, like it's a personal life, who cares? But like, you know, there was a lot of things that people were willing to let slide for the sake of good tunes and being lit at the club and at the parties and shit.
Same cooking.
You know what I mean? And right now, I think what people want is to be able to look at their artists that they follow, that they support, that they're fans of, and be like, all right, they make good tunes, but they're also a half decent person. Like, you ain't gotta be, you don't gotta be a saint, you don't gotta be like a role model, quote unquote. But stand 10 toes down. You know what I mean? Be a halfway decent person. Stand on code, at least. You know what I mean? And so now we're looking at people like Drake and now Young Thug, and we're looking at them like, yo, y'all some real pieces of shit out here. Like, y'all some shitty motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Narcissistic as hell, takes no accountability, blaming everybody else but themselves. You know what I mean? Can't figure out how they got themselves in this situation. And like a lot of people are tired of it. You know, I know like that's always been the type of shit that I've been on. But I feel like for a long time, the general public wasn't really on that type of time. They were just like, yo, just give me some good tunes. I don't care who the fuck, you know, what the fuck you do, who you kill, whatever. You know what I mean? But now I think people are asking a little bit more out of their artists, and it's interesting to see.
Niggas want the shooters to be shooters, bro.
I don't even know if it's that, Dean. I think what made a lot of us recoil is the lack of integrity, you know? And to me, that's that. And as we go from era to era, generation to generation, integrity just becomes non-existent more and more. Like, I want to be clear. I understand the argument that some people, even Thug himself, said that he was in jail, essentially beside himself, and you know he got to talking or whatever. But, bro, like Omerta, bro, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you're not in private. You're not on your cell phone. You're on a recorded line.
Stupid.
And at that time, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, trial in the history of the state of Georgia, because it wasn't a federal RICO. If this was a federal RICO, he probably would be sitting right now. Because the thing is, and don't mention Diddy, because Diddy's RICO was always questionable, and I kept telling y'all that in real time. This was kind of the footing that the case that they had underneath them was always kind of shaky footed to me. I didn't feel like they had enough for a RICO. They had things for him being a degenerate. If they would have just charged him independently of a RICO,
they got
certain things as being a full-on degenerate, I think they would have caught him. But the RICO kind of muddied the waters, in my opinion.
They got greedy, man.
Right. It being a state RICO, and they was basing this thing on certain things with him, it's a lot going on. I completely understand. But at the same time, your lawyer tells you, they should tell you how this jail situation works. The calls are recorded. I think, matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, when you get calls from jail, they tell you on a recorded line.
They tell you.
You know what I'm saying? So you're sitting here and you're talking, and it's like, all right, scenario. I get bagged. You three of us did some nefarious shit. I got bagged. Y'all beat the case. Oh, y'all got away. I'm salty about it. I get on the phone for a second and say, oh, I can't believe these bitch ass niggas Dini and Sin. And I say it one time, right? But it's not almost an hour's worth of conversation of me calling y'all bitch ass niggas. And that's what's losing me.
Yeah.
It's
hours.
Mad conversation.
Hours.
If you have a moment of real life anger as a person and you're mad at these guys, they still your mans, but you had a moment of depression and you kicked their back in for a second. We've all had those moments without jail. We've had those moments. You know what I'm saying? I've had a whole argument to say, well, I can imagine what Sis didn't say to me. You did what I'm saying? You feel me? So I understand.
Let me chill. I got a pod with this motherfucker on Monday, bro.
I understand that. We humans. But there's no way in the world there'll be hours of conversation, me kicking Sis back in, kicking Dini's back in, when I was in the streets with these niggas. Talking about how pretty a girl is or isn't. We sanctioning that. Not you, Dini, but I'm reading some of this. Like, some of the conversations is just gross, bro. It's like, yo.
Chatty Patty.
You right. You the ultra street nigga. And you talking about how pretty Glorilla is. You talking about the Metro and Drake situation. What's that got to do with you and your jail shit, gang? What are we talking about? Why are you talking about everything? You know what I'm saying? So when your YSL people say that you was the one telling first and all of that, you're allowing people, not me, but you're allowing people to look at you in a certain light and say, if you could tell all of this to your lady, what are you telling Johnny Law? Because if you could talk this much about your friends,
Brodies,
friends like that, man.
Gunna, Future, Metro, Drake.
That's why it's like, bro, if you're a boss, if you're the head of the snake, you kind of shut up, bro. How's the family? Do you have money? Do you have this? Is everything situated? Do you have, or at the very least, if you're a smart crook, you talking codes. There could be a lot of things said in code that could get conversations and points across. You ain't even doing that.
Yo, and the craziest part is I ain't never heard this nigga sound so coherent, bro. It's like never. like it can go like that. Like I said, I fuck with that.
That's crazy.
It can sound like that, but clear, concise conversations, bro. Like when he was talking about Dirk, I was like, I'm fucking that nigga. He ain't acting right. You know what I'm saying? Like he's perturbed. He's not being the same. It was just a different thug, bro. Like
I'll be honest with you.
Yo, it's like
that
shit.
jail
Lil
will do
Jon,
niggas like that, bro.
When Lil Jon,
Jail.
remember Lil Jon on the Chappelle
Why you
show?
talking to me like
yes.
that? Yeah. What? Could you say it again, please?
Bro,
crazy.
Like this whole thing be, and it's like maybe it's my way of thinking. To me, I just get super narcissist vibes. Like even the things he's talking about Future, and he got mad because Future be walking off at certain points. I'd be like, I know when I'm around certain people I deem as narcissists, I fake listen and I dip off. I'll leave mid conversation because I'll pretend I got a phone call. I've done it before. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the way you talk about your mans, you son of all of these guys. And let's be clear. It's clear that Young Thug has not read the 48 Laws of Power. There's ways to converse within the structure of power. And if you just throw your weight around, a lot of guys will play dumb around you and then move differently when you're not around.
Facts. You
don't think Future, for everything bad he said about Future and all his men, you don't think they all got stories of Thug doing some fuck shit? You think Thug is just innocent? This great guy?
He's a good guy.
The rapper named Young Thug is the greatest guy ever. He does everything for everyone. He put on everybody. He's the sweetest guy. Don't let the dresses and the face tats confuse you. He's a great guy. Don't watch the State Rico. Great guy. We heard for years they real street niggas. We've been hearing it for years. Now you telling me this guy's a saint? He ain't got some smut on his name? Come on, stop it, dog. When you point to me, any person you hear that point fingers like that much is a piece of shit. In my personal experience. A finger pointing like that is a piece of shit. If you're willing to blame everything, you blaming jail on talking that much? Is jail fault? Come on, bro. And the song, to Sid's point, the song just shows you that no one has the confidence to really speak up to this guy. Because the song is putrid. And it's 5 minutes long. What's going on?
Yeah.
No one can tell him the song is ass.
5 minutes, I have to cut it off.
Nah,
so I don't know.
it's
I
a
listened to
long
that whole
record.
shit, bro.
Yeah, same. I was trying to find some glory in there somewhere, but
nothing. But yo, hit the like button, guys. Hit the subscribe option. The one good part of this whole situation is hearing him talk about Metro Boomin and Drake. So now we know that we got like that because Drake is an unaware moron.
Yes.
Your man's mother passes away.
Yeah.
Suffering.
And within 3 weeks of his mom passing away, you asking about some music? Sin, I knew Drake was not aware, but this takes the cake.
Cooks in.
I mean, look, again, I just talked about like the ultra narcissists that we're looking at and dealing with out here. You know what I mean? Like Drake really feels like the kind of guy that would not give a fuck. You know, like if he walks by you and you're on fire, he wouldn't even piss on you. Like that's how I feel about him.
Unless it was beneficial.
Unless it somehow benefited him. Like you know what I mean? Like if that was his ghostwriter, sure. You know what I mean? But like
have him on fire. No pun intended.
Yeah, man. Like, look, I can't even like fully, speak on this, without going down a rabbit hole of like personal experience because my mother passed away, right? And like when like when you lose somebody at a certain age, like that stays with you. You know what I mean? You don't ever get over that shit. You know what I mean? I don't know if Drake has ever felt any loss in his life, but like to that level. If he had, I would think maybe he would have been more understanding of the situation. But the fact that he was asking for beats while Homeboy was mourning, that's just insane to me. And I can't even not that I want to go out of my way to throw some bail, but like I'd never in a million years, no matter how hard I tried, would never be able to find any grace for Drake in this situation because I've been through what Metro Boomin is going through, or was going through, or had been through. And I know what it feels like. And for somebody like Drake to just be like, yo, yeah, that's cool, but where's my beat at? Like, that's insane to me. Like, and I've said it mad times, but I'll say it again. Fuck Drake. Like, come on. Like that's a real piece of shit right there. You know what I mean?
And it's the thing, like someone was saying in the chat that he's working on, like Metro was working on an album at the time. Even if he is, you don't ask Metro for the beat. You let the person who's in grief let the world know, all right, I'm back, guys. I was going through a tough period. Yes, I was working on an album. But when people lose parents, close relatives, people they're in a relationship with, etc., you have to grant them the room to say that they're back outside.
And not to mention, Job, the relationship that this nigga has with his mother. You get what I'm saying? Because everyone, a mother's a mother. We all came here through our moms, but some people have like they're like this with their mom. You know what I'm saying? It seems like everywhere you see Drake, it's a hole somewhere, or he with his mother. You get what I'm saying? He was one of the two. You get what I'm saying? So he spends a lot of time with his mom, more than we probably seen any other hip hop artist spend with their mother.
Exactly.
In long recent memory. So for him to not understand that, it's like put another piece of shit on the legacy, bro.
Exactly. And let's be clear, when it's in Metro's case, and even on a personal note, when it's a sudden death, those be the worst ones. You didn't wake up that day expecting that would be the last day. So
bro.
In them moments, you have to allow people to tell you when they're ready to be amongst people, amongst their craft, and be ready to work. Because depression is a real thing. Sometimes that depression can kick your ass and take you out of whatever element you in. Granted, Metro has come around and he's made some spectacular music in the aftermath of his mom passing. He used her passing, I guess, as a vehicle for motivation. But again, if that's your friend and you got years in with Metro and y'all you have curated together for years, gang, get that man some. Don't hit this man about no fucking music.
Respect him.
Right. And it's not, and it wasn't just that. It was apparently, I mean, again, according to Thug, that Drake accused Metro of using it as an excuse.
That's crazy.
Which is
using my mom's death as an excuse. That shit don't even sound right in the sentence, bro. Like, it don't even sound right.
If Metro was some half-assed producer who hasn't had any success, maybe you could say he capping. But the man had a career's worth. And I might upset Sin when I say this, but in the annals of hip hop, he's up, bro.
He's all the way up.
He's a Timbaland and Pharrell of his era. He's the event producer of his time. So how you can act like he got to make an excuse to do or not do work? What are we talking about? He an intern now? Like what? Like come on, man.
Crazy. In a time of suffering.
That's crazy to me. But I digress. And real quick on the Iceman stream, you don't got to say too much. It was a few days ago, but if this is what it is, this is what I wanted to say. I remember the Iceman stream was kind of mid, but then the Drake fans were trying to look for Easter eggs and saying, "Oh, it's this and it's that and it's this." And I just find it funny that they spent years making fun of Kendrick Lamar fans who look for the Easter eggs, only to now be the fan base looking for the Easter eggs to validate why something is bullshit. Like that, it's funny how the world just continues to change around us. The Kendrick fans was the ones reaching for years. Now Club Paradise is reaching. The whole rollout is one big Easter egg. Since when?
Insane.
Hip hop scavenger hunt, bro.
Insanity, bro.
Drake, but Drake, that's the thing. Drake isn't even subtle enough to drop niche Easter eggs. You know what I mean? Subtle Easter eggs.
Not at all.
He's mad heavy-handed. You know what I mean? He got four Pinocchio figures at the table. Like, bro, that's an Easter egg? No,
legacy with the ice. You know,
man. He's and I can just see Drake be like, "Oh, this will get him."
That's Sin. Exactly. That's what this all feels like. It feels like he's in the room, like in the mirror, like I'll show you guys, and I'm just trying, but it don't feel organic. It don't feel natural. It don't feel. It don't like I said. A nigga lost his cool. Like he went from Stephon to just Steve. Like he lost the cool.
The machine broke, so now he back to
the gas. Remember the liquid he used to put in the machine? They ran out, bro.
Yo, bro, he needs to get his. He gotta have a B Rabbit moment. Just make a song talk about everything. Yes, I got peed on.
Get it
Yeah,
off
I
your
know hip
chest.
hop doesn't like me, and I'll still rap. And I'll keep it vibey. You know what I mean?
Low key, it feels like that's what he's doing, but it's just not good. It's what did I miss 3 times over at this point? It just gets worse over and over again.
Because his ego won't let him lean into it.
Ugh,
Like you gotta lean into all of the BS, bro, and just be like, I know y'all don't like me. I don't care. I'm not going nowhere. All of the rumors, whatever. Rihanna didn't want to kiss me at the VMAs that one time. Talk about everything. Wear the jacket. You know what I'm saying? Who would have cared telling him that? Wear the jacket. That's all you gotta do, bro.
Come on, man.
Be rabid. You know what I'm saying? I am a fucking bum. You know what I mean? Remember that shit? It was powerful. It's one of the best rap movie moments ever.
Nah.
But anyway.
but just if I could add one more thing about the I don't know, the stream, this episode 3. It was pretty trash. Like I wouldn't even call it mid. I think this shit was trash. The songs that came out of it also very mid. But it was interesting to see the streamers and the platforms that are so heavily on his side watch this stream and be like, yo, that was it? Nah, that can't be it. Homeboy, What's the Dirt, who is now apparently a Drake Stan platform, he was like, nah, I was told there was gonna be a red button. Where's the red button? And I'm like, yo, y'all still waiting for a red button a year plus later?
It's cooked, bro.
Y'all still waiting for a red button?
Cooked.
Come on, man. And they're going, they're twisting their own minds into pretzels, trying to figure out a way where Drake is the real mastermind and he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing, and he's got Kendrick and UNG and everybody right where they want to. And I'm like, what? Like, look, man,
hold the L.
We're so far beyond that. Like, y'all thought he was the mastermind when Family Matters dropped, and y'all saw what happened. That was his red button.
Look at the Hell's Angels, guys.
He's promising another red button. He's promising another red button, and y'all still tuning in?
Yes.
Come on, man. Get out of here.
Yes. And listen, you know what? And I'm here for all of it. I can't wait for the album to drop. I cannot. I'm telling you, this album is gonna really shake the room, and it's gonna be an earthquake, bro. Damn. And it's gonna be comedy, like, because if you do all this BS and then that album drops, and it is what we expect it to be, pure comedy ensues. You know what I mean? TJ saying that Cash Cobain putting himself next to this was also kind of whack to see. You notice that we don't talk about Cash Cobain at the Rap Roundtable. He's in a different realm. Drake grifted that wave as well. Let them guys, they making their money, they doing their own thing. That's not the type of music that we support. Again, like I said, I'm aware of Cash Cobain. I know what's going on, but his lane is his lane, and he's basically OVO. So what you expect? He's not some random New York nigga. I think he has a whole working relationship with OVO. So you got to understand that aspect of it as well. Last topic before we get out of here. Ransom.
Yes.
The weather's getting a little cold outside. Yep. New record collection plates produced by Craven, Boldy James, and a surprise guest in Young Chris. Sincere to rap, like Young Chris
did not have that on my single card at all.
Can we talk about that, Sin?
Listen, to a Young Chris sighting in 2025, I'm here for it, man. Look, right now, again, we're at this juncture. We're like in this period of that feels very much like a renaissance. Yo, if you were late 90s, early 2000s rapper, mid 2000s rapper, and you've been gone for a while, come back right now. This is the time. Do that shit. You know what I mean? Especially if if your name rang some bells, if you was part of a crew like Rockefeller and you haven't been, in the mix in a little while, get back in the fold, man. Get back in the mix of shit. You know what I mean? This is the time. This is your time right now. To have Young Chris next to Ransom and Boldy James, man, like that's an experience right there. That's an experience that I didn't think I needed, but I was very, very glad that I actually had. I listened to this record. Shouts to Nick Craven. The production is immaculate. You know, beautiful gospel inspired beat. The way he loops up records is insane to me. You know what I mean? And a lot of people will they'll have some thoughts about Nicholas Craven, like, oh, he only does drumless, he don't put no drums on the beats, all he does is loops. But look, man, when your drumless loops come out sounding that fly, I'm not gonna complain, man. That sound bed that he laid.
I'll give Craven this, not to cut you off, but I feel like Craven doesn't make those muddy sounds. Like, he's actually cooking up some warmth at the same time.
That's a lush.
So I'll let it live, because like some of the muddy sounds, I'm just over it now, son.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. Like his instrumentals are always so, if they feel layered and textured, even if it's just a loop, like they feel textured to where it feels almost like velvety. You know what I mean? But yeah, so shouts to Nick Craven, but let's get to the raps, man. Boldy James is in his A game, in pocket crazy. Ransom, we all know what a beast Ransom is. He never disappoints. He certainly doesn't disappoint here. But again, the story here is young Chris. And hearing him in 2025 is a welcome surprise. He did his thing on the record too. This record is definitely going to be in rotation for me for this foreseeable future. I'm definitely going to put this on that year-end playlist once that time comes around. And just greatness all around on this record. I'm super happy with it. I'm gonna be spinning it for quite some time.
Real quick, a few in the chat said that young Chris and Dave East dropped a project recently. I won't lie, I did see that. I did see that on the timeline. I didn't rush that because
shit, for real?
That's not really
Gunna and Pablo fire.
Is it tough?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually fire. But I know how niggas feel about Dave East, so but yeah.
Throw it in the chat, Dini, so I can tap in. I'll listen to it on the drive.
Bet.
Anyway, while we're here, talk to us about this link up right here, man.
I'm actually very impressed, and he actually had something else. I think it was late 2024, early 2025 with Old Ass Rider. They had a joint on there called All Felonies that was just like crazy.
Yeah, Chris, he was on the podcast circuit during that time, so he was promoting music.
He was cooking, and he did the Radar joint. So yeah, young Chris. We got it. We always give Ransom his props here. Shout out to Ram. We always give Boldy his props, but I'm gonna give young Chris really his props, bro. The flow on this, the way he attacked the beat. Like I always say, sometimes it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And in the reverse, sometimes it's not how you say it, it's what you say. This was a combination of both. I feel like Ransom is always the what you say guy. He's always gonna say something that has me like, whoa. You get what I'm saying? Bar work, always phenomenal. Always with the way he layers the flow. His shit is really like architecture when he raps. Like it's a different level. But like I love the way like Chris was just like, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like he just was able to just like let loose on the track. Pause. The way he was attacking to be so many different angles. Like I need I say Hove, but it was giving me that whole vibe. I was like, nah, like I haven't heard somebody like since Hove, like on that type of time. It was very refreshing to hear. It's like a cold glass of lemonade that I haven't had in a long time. And I'm back. And I think he's been like this for a while. Like I was telling niggas about the Old Ass Rider joint. I don't think I told y'all because I know y'all feel about Davies. But I was telling niggas about the Davies and him joint too. Like he been showing up,
throwing us under the bus. How y'all feel about Davies?
Because I fuck with Dave. I think Dave is slowly but surely elevated into a way better artist than I thought he was gonna be. I liked him on the first joint, on the Kyrie Chanel joint, but like he's elevated, bro. The joint with A-Rap music, I told you about that too. Like that to me, that's one of the ones. That's one of the ones. The shit he just did with Rand, it wasn't the biggest bag for us, but we enjoyed it. You get what I'm saying? As far as terms of the rapping, it was nice to see Dave East kind of like step out of his comfort zone and get into somebody else's world.
And so that's what he does. When Dave East linked with other artists, he
gets in their world.
He go in their world.
And I think that's fire. I think it shows like dexterity. It shows like the ability to like versatility. It shows all of that. And I fuck with East, but shout out to Boldy too, because I'm gonna tell us about Boldy has become a little repetitive to me. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I like Boldy.
I like that he's not as like monotonous anymore. There's more charisma in his flow to me now.
This is how I felt about this record. It didn't feel like that. It felt like he was able to let loose on the track too, and just I'm gonna do what I want to do. It didn't, his voice is already like the mellow voice with the mellow flow. Like, so sometimes it's dope to see like artists kind of like attack the track from a different, like I love new fresh sound, and I feel like he had a somebody here.
Nah, you good. Good.
I just love the fresh. I love the fresh sound of it, but like Young Chris was really the highlight for me. Like the flow on that and the bars, the combination, the punches was just like fire to me. I thought that was really dope.
That's interesting. I think there's always been the whole allegations of Jay-Z taking Young Chris's flow from yesteryear. It seemed like those.
All in the chat right now.
Well, I mean, it's regular stuff.
I said it's all in the chat right now.
It seemed like in this regard,
that whisper flow.
It was a bit of a role reversal. Like he was very Hove-esque on this. But I'm surprised that I'm alone on this island. You know what I mean? I feel like the beat kind of beat Chris ass a little bit. I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like in certain pockets of that, he was over rapping. That don't mean that the bars weren't there, but to me, he was not in pocket. To me, like the way he ran and Boldy was in pocket, body blow. Chris came and he sounded like he was a bit excited to be on the song. I'm not gonna lie to you. And in certain pockets, there was way too many bars per line, and he wasn't as pristinely in pocket as the first two acts on that. So I'm gonna stand on my square. I feel like the beat in certain areas beat Chris ass, and you had some high level shit before him, Boldy included. I enjoyed Boldy a lot on this. I don't want y'all to don't lose what I'm saying. The bars from Chris were there, but he was not in pocket how he needed to be. I'm gonna give the beat. The beat won that fight. To me, the beat got hot. The beat scene. Boldy and Ransom got beat up and said, "You know what? This nigga's not beating my ass too." And he did what he had to do against Chris. That's how I'm looking at that because Chris is he nice. But it was like, slow down, champ. Like he wanted to do a 360, a windmill, a reverse at the same time. Relax.
But he knew he wasn't gonna win the lyrical battle though.
Right.
Bro. He's gotta come from a different level, bro.
Ransom, like
most niggas are not beating Ransom in a line for line rap bar, bro.
He's gonna shine because Chris got a beautiful voice. Chris has one of the best voices for rap.
That's a fact.
He was always gonna stand out, especially when you got Boldy and Rand and what they do, just being on the song, you're going to stand out. He ain't Davies. You know what I'm saying? As far as his voice goes, he's Young Chris. So he's going to stand out. But when you rhyming like that, you doing too much and then the beat beating you up, like, bro, then, like slow down. Because again, Boldy bodied it. Boldy cooked.
Yeah.
Rand cooked. And he go,
deadass, I was like, nah, John gonna think this verse is tough. No funny shit. He gonna fuck with this verse. I'm dead wrong.
Like the poet, exactly. He came with a song like Blueface, bro. Like
nigga said Blueface.
Yeah, don't do that to him, man.
I'm wild. I don't mean that.
But nah, like that's a tough act to follow lyrically. Like this is Ransom.
Right.
I felt like he said, if I just come through with the bars after Ransom, it might not be the best idea. You get what I'm saying?
Genie, go listen to that song again.
I am. I listened to it like 4 times today.
With the cadence, the pocket, it was all over the. He was doing too much, bro.
He was
sorry.
He was everywhere, but the everywhere was to show the dexterity of the flow. I felt
the BPM don't support being everywhere. You know that. Sid grading on the curve. I'm surprised that Sid more than you. Sid grading on a big curve right now. He giving a lot of grades to Chris right now. You know what I mean?
Niggas love Chris, man. We just happy to see Chris shine too.
That's a fact. Man, I hope that he participates in this world more often. To me,
I love
a lot of the East Coast and the lyrical guys. To me, this is the world you need to be in, and then you build up from there. You try some more expansive sounds. But I think in Chris's case, he's already done the expansive sounds. So he will be I think it'll benefit him to come to the drumless world and flex his voice, his story, because he has a lot to talk about. And the soundscape that this space provides him would allow him to really get it off in a way, that would benefit him. Real quick, I forgot to ask you this in the last segment before we get out of here. This is the last thing I want to talk about from that previous segment. All those tapes, this record podcast interview. Is there a small part of you that felt like this Young Thug thing was a rollout? Like he's putting this shit out himself?
Nah,
it has
if
very
this is, if you do this to yourself, this is the craziest cheddar Bob I've ever seen. If
He
this
couldn't
is
have
like,
imagined.
bro, there's no lightness where he looked good though.
It's keeping his name out there.
And then the music is not good. I'm like, you can't go bad twice, bro. You can't be ugly and not have a shape. You gotta pick it. You feel me? Like,
well, you drop all of these, and then you drop the diss record and the podcast interview right after the diss record. All of this in one weekend. A part of me feel like Thug is gonna daily, bro.
If you want, if maybe to generate spins through hate, you can do that too. I guess, like, you know what I'm saying, I think that Drake gonna get that too when he drop. He gonna get the spins through hate. People that just want to spin and just to kick his back in. But
what do we do when we see a car accident? Guys?
Oh God,
what do we do?
Look, we watch, man.
We look, right?
You know what I'm saying? I don't think. I pray this is not a rollout for music. I pray that would be the dumbest shit I've ever seen a rapper do, bro. Or at least one of them.
It's a shameless error, man.
It is, bro. That would be so stupid.
All right, let's get to these super chats so we can get up out of here, man. Good pod tonight. M. Marquis, shout out to him. Last week, Mace told the truth. Well done, lad. The rest of y'all definitely gave a mediocrity pass. West Coast. What is he talking about?
To what? The Joey Badass, probably?
I don't know. I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If we said with the West, thinking Joey.
It can't be Mace that told the truth because I was the one that said that he was the safest on the project. Get the fuck out of here, M. Marquis. Thank you for the $10. Get the fuck out of here.
Appreciate
what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, Mace loved the Joey Badass.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know what he talking about. Be a little more specific, Marquise. 88 Spence says, dope to see Mace on that platform. Absolutely. Love to see it. You know what I mean?
Boy, shining.
Jeremy Cole says, the shift doesn't mean moving away from hits, in my opinion. To me, it's more about getting back to authenticity, be your authentic self, and make jam substance. For sure.
Beautiful.
For sure.
Shout out to J. Cole.
We've been on that wave, though. I think the problem is, like, what people are talking about now, it's old work for us. We talked about this 2019, 2020, 2021. Y'all late. You know what I mean? Jeremy Cole says, what was it? Scary Hours 3. Where his heart was or where his right is.
Cooking.
Fangal 12 says, $10 holla, appreciate you.
Salute.
The song of the summer was Boots on the Ground. I heard that thing everywhere, no matter the race. Yeah.
This is facts.
There you go.
Everywhere. Age, race, no matter.
Jeremy Cole says, Ray tape, Joey tape. Doechii and Marcus Clay up next. Shout out Marcus Clay. He should be up next. To me, Marcus Clay has the ability, and I think he'll be able to have the song making ability to get to the next level. You know what I mean? But we're gonna see.
Shout out to Clay.
And Texas niggas just know how to make music.
Friend of the table.
For sure. Being from Texas, being a lyrical animal, being inspired by the right things, he got it. And again, y'all can keep saying Ray tape better than Joey tape, but he still got his ass beat by Joey. Sorry.
Pow.
100%.
LP says moms die every day, B. Drake. LP, you a fool, gang.
What a bag of chips, bro.
Jeremy Cole says, I need Rand and Dot collab more than anything else. Two of the best. Honestly, somebody else in the chat has said a Clips and K Dot.
That would be crazy.
I'd like a Pusha T and Kendrick EP. Just give me 7 tracks. And if Pharrell's in this bag right now, and go find, because I ain't gonna find, kind of like Kendrick on the Metro beat. You know what I mean? Get a couple of those guys together, and let's see what it's hitting for. Can we get that? You know what I mean? Little 7-track EP for the soul. I'd appreciate that. But anyway, it's been a successful live. Thanks to everybody who's here. If you haven't by now, hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. We need 500 likes in every video. We're on the road to 30K subs, and we can only get there if y'all hit the subscribe option. Yes. About 40% of y'all tune into everything. Between 35 and 40% of y'all tune into everything, but y'all have yet to subscribe. So hit the subscribe option, run those up, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll talk to y'all in the future. Do you need a balance? Take us home.
You already know what it is. Shout out to Macito making big moves. Shout out to Jarvie, the motherfucking hardest working man in show business. Sincere, the motherfucking rap snob, but he's in the building. You know what the vibes is. I'm Dean, the balance of the force. And you know how we feel about y'all. We absolutely adore you all. We love you. Hit the like button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share. Care. We all wear. And we out of here. We love y'all. It's the Rap Round Table, man. Monday night.